Last time on the Empire's Edge, it looks as though no one got to your room.
They're going to turn the three of us into gigantic apes.
What?
Now!
Ah, Jesus.
Out of the way! The Veda Library is under attack.
Come at me. Disadvantage means nothing.
This massive armor on yourself.
Everyone at the table is doing that except Matt.
He's like, hey, monkeys, they're going.
Giant monkey block out sun!
And then you hear, it's like a snap, and there's this rumble that is cataclysmic, and it's quite clear that the Rhazia Tower has come down. So you're in Garnsdale Park. There's all this wave of people that are moving up through the city, and it's pandemonium. People are breaking off to this house, to that house, but there is a major push of wizard people and honestly of Zrex that are moving right up into the adjacent area to Garnsdale Park, and they're witnessing what they now perceive, and that is the destruction of the Rhazia Tower.
Oh, yeah.
So it is just people moving, pushing every which way. After a couple of minutes, there is some spell casting. Something leaps up into the air, and there's an explosion of fire. But it looks like it was like cast straight up into the air. So what do you guys do
Let's
from
use
here?
the cover of the crowd to maneuver back to Larkin Silks.
Yeah, get back down to Johann Street.
All right, so leading out from that area, let's go ahead. Well, there's no stealth to this. You're moving out of it. But go ahead and roll perceptions. You guys have moved around through this area so much, and you've often been pursued by things. I think that it would be almost normal for you to have your head on a swivel at this point.
22.
17.
27.
All right, so you guys are exceedingly aware as you're coming out of here, and what you note is that at this moment, there are none of those winged things flying overhead.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's good.
I wonder if they were in the thing that went...
Or, something else that held
Or
them.
nobody's telling them what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Because they're preoccupied with the tower
I
collapsing.
wonder, like, is it something like the Eye of Bravis, if they had to be, like, next to a thing, like, if there was some control panel or something maybe in the tower?
Who knows? Is
Gargoyles are sentient. They just don't have any
Yeah,
orders,
they're
so they're
people.
just standing by.
I was picturing, like, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where they're all sitting in one of those little, like, game chair things controlling it.
No, they're like real, actual living
beings.
things.
Well,
They're
that's
they're
more
elementals.
terrifying. Go back to my idea. Do it my way.
Is Inda and her? She had 2 people. 2
Inda
out of
wasn't
3.
here, yeah. and
But
the other
are
two.
her 2 people with us?
Yes, they're with you heading back
better.
to...
They're carrying all the
to
stuff we
Larkin
stole.
I know,
This
right?
is
Yeah.
true.
They have the bags of stuff. Yeah, one has 2 bags over his shoulder. So it is taking you a number of minutes. It's actually difficult to push through the crowds. And
I
once
bet.
you're out of the park itself, people are hanging on the cast iron gates that are all around it, the rails around the park, and moving through it in the opposite direction. No one makes you or marks you. No one seems to be looking at you in any particular way with those perceptions you've made.
They're
You
too
could roll-
preoccupied with our massive act of terrorism.
Right.
Is there and there's we don't see cats on the roof either? I would
no,
bet not.
nothing
Yeah.
like that.
Okay,
No.
cool.
You do
you,
see
you
there-
did dispel those pixies, right? It's not like we're not being...
I did dispel them.
Okay,
which
so
is kind
make
of
sure
a
we're not
bummer.
being followed around by anything. It's like, why are they staring at us? And there's like 6 little gremlins floating around our heads.
And even as you're about halfway to Johann Street, you're already getting information that seems to be traveling by just word of mouth, maybe by magical means or some other means as well. But they're saying things about exotic animals, gorillas, apes, and no one seems to know what's happening or how to put any more of this, but that some crazy things came flying out of that tower moments before it came down.
If I can interject rumors as we're going, not getting slowed down or even indicating that was me who said that, just if I'm hearing somebody say something and as I'm passing, mention an experiment gone wrong or something they did that got loose.
Great idea.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same
I
thing.
think you could do that either as, we'll call it a bluff, a performance, or as an intimidate, depending upon the way you deliver it.
Throw comments in there like it was supposed to be their melee menagerie thing this year, and it they didn't
Right.
actually
Yeah.
they didn't
They
bring
So-
it.
themselves did something wrong, yeah.
I am proficient in intimidation. That's not what I was planning on using. And my persuasion is way better than my deception or my performance.
What's
Can I use
your
persuasion
sow seeds
instead?
of discord
Yeah,
skill?
persuasion sounds good. Yeah, persuasion. Go ahead and roll that.
Pretty poor.
I'm going to
because
do
I'm supposed to be a
the same
paladin.
thing. So should I roll it too?
Yes.
Are we doing deception or what'd you say? Persuasion?
I'm doing persuasion.
Ah, yes.
17.
Same for me.
I rolled an 18 on persuasion.
There's persuasion. Yeah, they're the same for me. 15 for me.
All right, so as you are doing just that, Boris is the first one saying that, you turn to somebody and give me a brief kind of narration as what you might say, the type of thing.
I heard it was some kind of experiment of theirs that got loose. And like literally, it's just that, and then I'm moving. I'm not stopping to talk. I'm not getting bogged into a conversation.
Okay,
I'm just
good.
spreading the rumor.
Roll a, what was your perception from just a little bit ago?
22.
That you hear, so you're probably just about like 6 or 8 feet away, but everyone's talking, just nonstop, all this noise. And that very guy you're talking to, as you take a glance back, he is saying, I've heard the Rhazia Wizards had an experiment, that they had something go wrong. And it just took, that fast. Jacob, what'd you roll?
15.
So what would they, to just narrate for me the kind of thing you'd want to say?
Some big monster from the menagerie got loose, and then continue with that.
Okay, let me, 1, 2, 2. The guy yells back to you, that's what I said.
Yeah.
He said, see, one of the monsters from the menagerie got loose. Something was, and then you're out of the earshot of that too. And then your roll, Zelen, was?
It was an 18 on the persuasion.
Yeah, so then narrate to me, what's the kind of thing you'd want to say too?
They were experimenting for the menagerie. It went wrong. It got loose.
And
I'm going to
again,
combine it all.
And then some guy screaming, I'm going to combine it all.
The person said that too. He turns to the person next to him and says, then let's get out of here. And he turns and goes just like in a different direction, not with the crowd, not against it like all of you, but is going now laterally against it. Doesn't seem to be spreading a rumor. So maybe that seemed like confirmation enough to him that it's time to get out of town or lay
There's still
low.
dangerous stuff around.
Yeah, there's all kinds of bad things around. So after probably about like 2-3 times the time it would take to get down to Johann Street, as it normally would, that you're there about a half an hour or 35 minutes later, and you finally gotten to it. And toward the end of that, you were actually broken apart from each other and then had to reconnect because just the people pushing through, it seems as though everyone in the lower city has come to the upper city, that the lower city
Sure, yeah, I bet.
tend out to vacant.
Yeah. I'd want to stick with either the Sarvapan or the human of Inda's crew, because the Villaman got killed, right?
I know this is a human that got killed. The Villaman's with you with the
then
Sarvapan.
either the Sarvapan or the Villaman.
Sarvapan's holding 2 bags.
Okay, then definitely with the Sarvapan. So
All right.
that way he's got cover if something happens.
All right, gotcha. So then when you get to Johann Street, the Indoner's people, they're right with you. They stop before they go into the little cul-de-sac, and it looks like all of Larkin Silk's people are there. Silk himself is not visible at the moment, but his defensive people are in the outer area right now.
They're part of our crew.
Yeah, is anyone like stopping us from going there, or did they stop
No,
themselves?
they're probably waiting for something from you.
Oh, yeah,
Come on.
I'll wave them in.
Okay, so you come in, and then they're motioning you forward, and you go, quick, and then the door opens, and then in a moment, you're inside Larkin Silk's. Doors close behind you, and they're trying to make it look as though it's business as usual out there in the cul-de-sac, the people that are always on guard, but it seems ridiculous that they're doing laundry and splitting wood when most of the city's up there, so they're filling but then no one seems to be watching them really either, but they're at a high alert.
Yeah, they're trying to maintain business as usual so they don't get panicked by whatever just blew up, the major citadel.
Right. So
it's actually pretty reasonable.
About a half an hour later, Silk himself shows up. And then about 15 minutes after that, Beckett Reed shows up as well. A few minutes later, Bolt arrives there too. And they are just abuzz with what's happening out there in the city and everything that's gone. And they can't stop talking about it. We never thought, Silk says, that the tower could come down, that it could be brought down, that all these things came together. And they're breaking out wine or schnapps
beer
or something,
Yeah.
and they're toasting each other.
The bigger they are,
they never knew that was going to happen like that. But it is pretty crazy out in the city. It wouldn't surprise me, Silk says, that Baron Fleetwood imposes martial law to try to get order of all this that's happening
I'd
right now.
assume it also let him solidify authority over the mercenaries that had belonged to the Razia.
Right? Yeah,
they're just going to flip because they need a paycheck.
Yeah, very likely. That would make an absolute lot of sense without the backing of the Rhazia Wizards, depending upon what they do with their base.
Makes me wonder how
destroyed.
our next conversation is going to go with the Baron. How exactly do we deny we had anything to do with this?
Or do we deny?
Yeah.
I think first things first, though, we divvy up the spoils.
Oh, absolutely.
All right,
would
so-
it make sense that we have done that in the last 45 minutes? or-
No, because we were just walking through the crowd.
Oh, I thought we had been waiting at
You've
Silk's
been
for...
at his place for at least half an hour before Silk himself gets there.
Oh,
so
so-
yeah, but once the principal people all arrive, yeah, it makes sense. Okay,
You're fluttering your fingers, yes?
you go into a dining hall area and everything's being dumped out on the table.
That's good.
And everyone's starting to count out both just the money, the art objects, and things that are being set aside.
Gems,
themselves
magic components.
that are
Yeah.
magically things. Yeah. So I think Zelen wanted to say something.
So if we have that time period that I need to kind of just relax and do little things, then I gain one of my spells back. I gain a spell slot.
Are you going to do light work?
Or I gain maybe how many spell slots do I get back?
Up to half your level.
Yes. So this is like calm stuff, right?
In spell levels, yeah. So
Yeah.
like...
I have 3 spells that I've used, so I can get them all back.
Well, it depends on the level of the spell.
Levels. So you could get 3 first level spells, or a second level spell and a first level spell, or a third level spell.
Oh.
So yeah.
I was hoping to get my 4th level spell.
But if you're going to sit around and just listen to us chat for that hour.
Next level, you'll be able to recover a 4th level spell with that druidic power.
All right, well, I'm still getting my 3rd level spell back.
Okay,
I'm
go
just
for it.
jazzed at how you react to all of that. It's great to see.
Yes! All right, yeah. So what do we see on the table?
Well, when everything is done, it really comes out that the Villaman, he says, all right, when it comes to actual treasure, we set aside these shares, one for you, one for you, one for you, for our crew, and they work the thing out. Now, these art objects will need to be fenced. So trying to calculate a cost for this, how much the fence is going to take, moving it to probably the Corman Empire, maybe the Confederation of Duchies. We're looking at probably about 1,500 in silver per person. And for the listeners, we're on a silver standard, so that's a lot of wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's significant.
And then these things, and he sets these things out in front of you, that there is what looks like, there's a wand and a ring, that there is a crown.
A crown?
Nice.
There is a quiver.
Ooh.
There's a little case that looks like it has some kinds of crystals or lenses inside it. There is a single pearl, and laying across the table, there is a staff.
Okay.
From Jacob, you also set in, I guess, in the collective pile, you set down a wand. I already said wand.
Yeah, the wand.
Yeah,
Okay, so
you're
just assuming that's stuff that I had to just put in. Okay, cool.
So
But there's the last thing, they say this, they point to it, it seems to be a magic of something, but we've never seen anything like this before. But each one of you, just from memory, you recognize what this thing is a piece of, because you know the color, you know the shapes. It's a piece of the throne of Indara.
wow.
Now, who was able to get through that barrier from over here?
Or
Well,
how long ago?
Right.
Ooh.
And remember, I tried to take a piece out of it, and it wouldn't work.
You thought you could, but
Right.
you wouldn't
You
be able
decided
to
not to
do
break the
anything
throne
with it.
because you're
Right.
not evil.
I'm not evil.
Who would do such a thing? I mean, can we get an idea? I mean, we're not all, none of us are stonemasons here, or any way of just saying, it's
Right.
like, oh yeah, this must have been broken off 17 years ago. Actually, 17 years ago to the day, this very night. There's no way for us to be able to distinguish that from looking at
I'm
it.
not sure
is there?
like an actual jeweler could do that.
Right.
Carbon dating, I'll get on my kit.
Even for all of you, you know that in recent memory, even from a generation, maybe even 2 ago, only one other party tried to do what you've done.
Oh yeah.
And that is you found their dead bodies there in that barrier at the Gate of the Ages.
James Hilton.
So for anyone else to have done something like that,
Probably predates that.
you would have to predate that. And it could be as far back as that these Rhazia wizards, or whoever has owned this tower or that region land, or think about too, from different households you've been in that have been robbed, when the cataclysm first happened that destroyed Bravis and the beginning of the Kremlin protectorate happened, it could have been from way back there. And it's been a household heirloom ever since that time.
Interesting.
So they probably didn't know anything about it. Does anybody here? I mean, so we have all this stuff on the table, but does anybody here know what any of this stuff does? Does
Well,
anybody recognize
option would
any of
probably
it?
be Bolt.
I mean, well, yeah, but some of this stuff is probably stolen from some of the druids that they've killed off over time, and that
The
kind
easiest
of stuff.
thing to do would probably be to take it to a secure area outside the house, and thereby, the deadening magic effect, and doing detect magic and arcana checks to see what we've actually got.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay, that
yeah.
makes sense.
But at that moment, Reed, as all this stuff being laid out, and he looks at it, takes notice of it, he says, "This I do recognize." And he picks up that staff and smiles. He's kind of wringing it, gently in his hands. This belonged to an associate of mine many, many, many years ago. And he turns to you, Zeln, and said, "Whatever else you do, dividing these things up, Zeln, I'd like you to have this. And we need to talk more about this later." And hands you this staff and says, I guess in terms, it is a staff of the Woodland. It will greatly assist you as a druid.
Thank you.
It's like if we're already taking claim to certain things, I just slowly reach over and just pull the quiver off with 2 fingers, just saying, I don't think anyone's going to miss
Honestly,
this.
I'm really interested in the piece of the throne.
Yeah, but I also want to make sure that what are we going to do with the eye? I mean, they're going to come after that. How do we secure that? I can't cast Lemon's secret chest. I mean, Leomons or
Leomons.
Leomons.
I like lemons.
Lemons.
I cast
It doesn't work half the time.
Lemon's secret zest.
Well, whatever the guy's name is or girl, I can't cast that chest again because I can't use that power more than once a day.
I guess,
Right. Yeah. Well,
gotcha.
we just keep that in the dead magic zone for now, and then I was thinking we stash. Well, we arrange a meeting with Cormack. He probably will try to kill us because we just blew up the thing he was trying to take over.
Yeah, I think you guys went like a little too far with what he was expecting you guys to do.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just
I
go,
don't care.
whoops.
It's like, well, your guys unleashed magical experiments and blew up the tower. Why are you getting mad at us?
Right.
No,
yeah.
we didn't. Well, that's what I heard.
I thought you said kill everybody. I said peaceful at all costs. Yeah.
No survivors means no witnesses.
Actually, it wasn't us at all. It was a bunch of apes. I have no idea how that happened.
But he's probably going to put it together because I was already talking about pulling down a tower using Umber Hulks. So
Yeah, I think he's pretty
Yeah,
smart
but anyway,
too.
so what?
we have combat with that, and then once that's resolved, I was thinking stash it in Nzongo's tower.
Oh, that's
how
a good
about
idea. So
with
we're not going to leave it here with the Baron.
No.
Not with the Baron. We're going to leave it here in the dead magic zone, so it can't be usable
Okay.
or detected.
So,
Yeah.
Bolt, are you guys comfortable? I mean, people are going to come after this, and we thought that they couldn't get into the Roth house, and they got in. Is there a good place that you could hide this? Or
It's possible that right now this is the safest place in the entire city.
Probable that this is the safest place in the entire city.
Okay.
The next safest place is not in the city. So yeah.
Right? Yeah.
All right. So
Let's grab our
gathering stuff
things
up
we think what magical and go outside.
Yeah.
and
Either you're doing a detect magic ritual, I'm just casting it with a spell slot.
and Indonur's people, they're gathering up what's some like magically looking things that look exotic, and then money, art objects,
Yeah.
and they're filling up their own sacks with
bits
that
and
stuff.
bobs.
Yeah, I'll definitely cast it
Well,
as
they're
a ritual.
probably taking most of it to fence it.
Right.
Let's not use any spell slots. We don't have to. I'll cast.
Works for me.
Yeah. Silk, is there a place that we can go that's maybe not in plain view of the main courtyard? Some backyard that we can
There
stand
actually
in?
is, and Zelen, you already know about this. That you go like way downstairs in a basement, and when you walk through a series of rooms and what's tantamount to tunnels, you're underground, out of sight. But he says, okay, in here, it's just a blind chamber. It's like the deepest part of the catacomb under his complex. You're outside the circle of protection.
Is there a cask of Amontillado too?
No, but you see newly fresh laid bricks across 2 columns.
For the love of God, Montresor. Yes. For the love of God.
Yeah.
Okay, so I forgot her name. Inda. Do her people? I'm guessing we're not going to bring them with us. Are they just going to take their?
They took most
horse.
of the stuff
All right.
so they can then fence it because they're the ones with the criminal conduct.
Exactly
So
right. Yeah. So
making
they're,
sure
they're heading their own direction.
Not that we don't trust them, but they did just kind of steal a whole bunch of stuff from a tower and just make sure before we go further.
I
in.
don't trust them.
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
think they're good to have on hand because they obviously didn't get
Well,
themselves killed in all this.
it was part of the deal to make use of
the Umber Hulks.
the Umber Hulks
Right,
to
yeah.
make all this happen.
So yeah, we'll make sure that
They were reliable because they got paid.
they take what they need to take, and then we just make sure that they're out the door, outside of the courtyard, and then we'll probably go down and look at the gear.
All right, so with all that done, so within the next hour or so, that you're finding out the following information: that the wand and the ring that you found or you stole from that dead wizard, Jacob,
Okay, yeah.
it's a wand of magic detection.
Oh, nice. There.
And this again,
Continue
so
not using spell slots.
was this Zelen or is this Boris that's doing the
Zelen.
Zelen's? Okay,
Yeah.
thank
She
you.
did the ritual.
Right, and then the ring is a ring of spell storing.
Ooh.
Nice.
The crown is a circlet of blasting.
Dibs.
Whoa.
And all I can picture with
I love
that
that you say dibs.
is
What does it even mean?
Is
Not
the-
dibs, like circlet of blasting.
Remember the
once I'm attuned to it, I can do Scorching Ray once a day.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm claiming that because I currently have the worst options for ranged, which is throw stick.
what I can't
It's a
help
pointy stick, but it's still just a stick.
what I can't help picturing is from the I think the 3rd season I think it was of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the guy that will go and you shoot a thing out of his forehead.
Sparky Boom Man.
Sparky Boom Man.
Right,
yeah, like that. But A, I'm not part Gollum, and B, it's a crown, not my literal forehead.
Right, yeah. So somebody did a tattoo circle of blasting on his head.
Yeah, right.
Also, there's
an idea.
the quiver is a quiver of Falgar, and that would be like a relatable item to a quiver of Ilona.
Okay.
So
Okay.
a storage thing for all kinds of
Yeah, a lot of arrows
projectile-y
and like
stuff.
javelins.
And a whole
yeah,
bow.
why not just stash like 3? I think it's insane.
Yeah, so you can have a lot of arrows.
Hey, yo, Bolt, I need a few more bows.
So eyes, the next one, the lenses are eyes of minute seeing.
Okay.
So giving you a better chance to detect things up close, like when you're doing searches, investigations, things like
For
that.
secret doors and crap.
Ooh.
Right. The next item is a pearl of power.
Nice.
I was going to guess that's what it was because I can't imagine there's too many pearl things that are magical items.
Yeah, right.
So that's just like you store a spell.
No, other way
right?
around. You recover a spell slot of up to 4th level.
Nice.
Or no,
Fourth level?
up to 3rd, I think.
If only we knew someone who was trying to do spell like getting their spells back right now.
Yeah,
but well, throw
but
it,
she's
pitch
trying
it
to
over the
get
shoulder.
4th, not 3rd.
Oh, but it does cut off at 4. Or
Right.
3,
No,
rather.
it's 3rd, yeah.
Okay.
And then the last thing is a staff of the woodlands, and it does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, casts a bunch of spells and can turn it into a tree.
Right.
Oh, cool.
All kinds
What
of
kind of
things.
tree?
Hey, back up, monster.
Actually, it just says tree.
I was gonna say if Zealot
Yeah,
turns into
arguably, you could set what kind of tree each time you turn it into a tree.
so that means like Zealot, I need to go somewhere. It's like and I just go
Jump, and you jump.
That'd be so funny.
That would be really cool. I'll bet
She
it comes
turns it
up at
back
some
into a
point.
staff before you leave and get squeeshed.
I just go
Come
like
on,
the
Grace,
staff
Vinny.
just gets really big, really all of a sudden I'm still inside it.
Hey,
All right.
since I was kind of resting and relaxing and I got my 3rd level spells back, am I allowed to change which one I have prepared during that
No,
time
you
too?
need to take a long rest to re-prepare spells.
Good question.
But
though.
very good question. Yes.
If we weren't better prepared to answer it, then you might have gotten away with it.
All right. So
Unfortunately, I have read way too many of the rules.
Yep.
So when you guys get back upstairs, Bolt,
And I'm wearing the circlet too, so I can attune to it.
all right.
Oh, wait a minute. So who has the ring?
The Ring of Spell Storing.
No one at the moment.
I am out of with that. I'm assuming the quiver. Yeah, you guys said it requires attunement. Yeah, so I am out of attunement slot. So I can't take anything else.
I think I've actually got one more attunement slot.
I have no
Would you
idea.
like a Ring of Spell Storing so you can have even more smites per day?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, circlet of blasting, ring of protection.
Oh,
yeah. I think
How
I
many
do.
spells does this one have? It was like supposed to be like up to 5. Do you know how many levels?
Well, you'll probably find this out. It's a non-attunable item, I think. So or it is attunable.
No, it
item.
requires attunement.
Yeah. So at the end of that attunement period, we'll just like play this forward. It could hold like
I don't
anything
picture us
could.
going back out in the city for a
5,
bit.
Yeah, but it is currently empty of spells.
Nice.
There's nothing in it, so it's
Nice,
it's a
nice.
tabula rasa. All right. So when you're back upstairs, oh yeah, go ahead, Zelen.
So,
She started
so you
spellcasting
have the
again.
ring, right?
Yes.
Who has the pearl?
You?
That makes
Oh,
sense
I
that
have
you
the pearl.
do.
Yeah, once a day you can just. Is it a one-time use item or is it a once per day thing?
Once per day.
Yeah. So there
And
you
is
go.
that an attunement thing?
No, that's just. I think it's a use.
Okay. So I have the pearl.
Per day thing.
It requires attunement.
Oh
Yeah, it does.
man, come on.
This is an
5e,
attunement.
Right? Making magic items dumb.
If I had a twin,
What about
Yeah,
what
right?
about the staff? Do I have to tune to that too?
You do.
So that's an attunement.
If we just grow an
Then
extra
your
arm,
ring
does
of
that give us-
protection.
Yeah, and I have a ring of protection already that's a tuny.
Mhm.
So what about the wand? Who has the wand?
Sounds like we're not using the wand then.
The wand
Well,
shouldn't
no,
be.
no, the wand is.
yeah, the wand's just a wand. Wand's not.
Yeah,
attunement.
wand doesn't require that. You can hold it
Yeah,
though.
you-
You
you-
tend to be our magic
So
detector.
I should hold the wand.
So now it takes us 10 minutes less time to cast detect magic because you can just go bippity boppity
so
boo.
I've got the pearl, the staff, and the wand.
All right. So when you guys are back upstairs, you're back through those various tunnels and chambers that are underground in this complex. That you see that Bolt and Reed are talking to each other, and they're nodding their heads. They look at Silk and say, "I think 3 or 4 of us should go out into the city. Those of us that can move about a little more easily and get information and find out what is happening in the city." And Bolt turns to you, Jacob, and says, "Why don't you be part of that team? Let's go out in teams of 2, and we can see what we can find out. While we really should just lay low until things calm down in the city itself."
Yeah, I think I'm reasonably certain that I'm probably the least recognizable
Conspicuous, yeah.
of the 3 of us. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I'm wearing a crown now. I can't be. I can't do stuff.
I'm not conspicuous.
I love
I'm fabulous.
I don't. Okay. So You're gone for, let's say, 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, man. All right.
All that I need is for you to do 3 information gathering, I guess investigation.
Okay. I can do that. Are
Is
you
he
sure?
Is he within 1 foot of whatever's going on?
Because the way you said investigation means it sounded like you were trying to convince me. Are you sure that's what you want? 18, 5, and 7.
Okay.
Investigation is definitely one of my strong suits.
Right. I'm just rolling to see who has found out what on these teams.
Gotcha.
So would you rather go out with Bolt or with Silk?
Oh, Bolt. Let's do Bolt.
Okay.
He seems like he'd be, I don't know.
Going on a life-changing field trip with Zuko.
Exactly. I want to go on my life-changing trip. There's a lot of Avatar references.
It's,
All right, so
it's a very good story.
It really is.
It honestly relates very well to what we're trying to do.
So in 4 hours, you guys just agreed to come back to Silk's place. Anything you guys would say you're doing, or are you just like waiting? Your attunements are done.
I am dumping spells into the ring because I want to have them nice and stocked up.
Nice.
Okay.
So is that
And
like 2
anything for
second level
you?
smites and a first level?
I'm looking at the stuff. The one thing I am curious about is I have one of the magic owl feathers. If I attach that owl feather to the staff, does it do anything?
When you do things like that, there isn't like a prescribed what happens to it. So it might be a case of where, as you're attuning to it and you understand what the staff is going to do or what spells it can cast, that since there is, like, it came from a magical creature, the reason why they're so good for the arrows is because the arrows have to have that fletching on it, and it's because it came from a magical creature that there's a benefit to it. But it isn't just like you can snap magical components together and it's going to make a new.
They're not
something.
Legos?
They're not Legos, yeah. So, but you will find out
They're
things
not
about
bored
the staff.
either.
All right,
Okay, so that's what
I'm
I'm
wondering,
going
like,
to do.
it lets you turn into things. Maybe you attach that and it lets you become a giant owl. That'd be cool.
Maybe.
So
We'll see. Plant
Jacob,
that little seed of an idea.
all right, we'll find out about that later. So, Jacob, you, in talking to somebody, and again, people are trying to move back down the city, they're trying to get back to their homes, that it came up very, very clearly that martial law is being implemented. And you see people wearing both the tabard of the Rhazia wizards, like in some tattered sort of form, as though they're pulling parts of that off, as well as those of the Baron Fleetwood, that they're all imposing the Baron's will.
Okay.
They're all talking like, in the name of the Baron, return to your homes. Martial law has been established. And you're like, wait, I even recognize that guy.
That guy
as,
swung at me.
being like defending the Rhazia wizards. And it's as though many, so Boris's prediction is right, that they just started flipping left and right when they saw where the power was going.
All
right
they
now.
care is about the payday.
Now, another,
Money lets me buy food. I don't blame them.
Yeah, true.
Silk found out that someone that's being referred to as the Jaguar, and it seems to be that he was the oldest among the Rhazia wizards, was already spotted fleeing the city in the direction of the Confederation of Duchies. And that wasn't just like alone and by himself, but with a whole entourage.
Oh,
like
wow.
he moved numerous people out, and they're heading out of this region altogether.
Makes sense.
And that they've been gone. It's been like 4 hours since the tower fell, 4 or 5.
My house got blowed up. I'm going to go fight in a war because I can get power and influence that way instead.
And he's been gone for like 4.5 hours. He had an exit plan ready to go in case things went sideways.
Contingencies.
Jacob, you found out that the Melee Menagerie was won by Irina Radabov.
She turned into an ogre and fought or something?
Apparently she trains bears.
Are you kidding? Are you actually?
Not at all. No, that she would have lost, but suddenly, inexplicably, all of the Rhazia wizards left the field of competition, and she was like the default winner at that point.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So here we go. Like Irina Radabov, her nickname is Domino because her power is luck.
And then the last thing found out by Reed is that it looked at the Rhazia wizards, from what he's getting, whatever contacts that he has through Steel Cloud, is that the Rhazia wizards are trying to find out which Rhazia wizard betrayed them and brought their tower down. That it's coming out that the Rhazia wizards think they've done this to themselves.
Nice.
Because they wouldn't believe that
That's
anybody
beautiful.
would have the power. And apparently there was advanced magic going on that was making all this happen.
Oh, now, like, the only thing going through my head is right now is like, oh my God, what if we just, is there some way that we can get the name Hugo Cormack on someone else's lips to the point where we get news later that Hugo Cormack's been killed and just go ahead and take that off of our plate?
Yeah, right.
Like, so we don't have to do that
That's a great
later.
idea.
Trying to think of
Gosh, I wonder. Yeah.
All right, so they also think, well, we think it should be a case of where we should lay low for a handful of days.
Yeah,
It'd be
makes
good just not to go out for a little while.
That
But,
we just obey martial law.
right, so in a little while, you guys are going to get a full night's sleep. You're going to wake up.
Here's my question about the about the street kids, though. What happens to them during martial law? Are they still just kind of wandering around? Or are they just kind of, do they hide and not be seen kind of thing? Or?
That's a really
They're
good
probably
place.
holding up either with Reed or here.
Yeah.
I was about to say just that one of them is Tim is with Reed, and Bob is with the your guys down at the Urn and Skillet.
Okay, good.
Okay.
And the last one,
Leo.
And Asher. We had two more.
I take back. Both Leo and Asher are here as
Okay.
runners for you guys, and they're
Nice.
staying here at Larkin's.
And the fake Jacob is, I'm guessing, here too. Jacob.
You keep adding names to this.
No. Jacob was Larkin's guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, first up we heard Jacob. What?
different Jacob.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
No.
pretty sure he just called some random guy who wasn't Jacob just to screw with you.
Probably.
So during that time period, say the next day when you guys are awake, they have food, you're eating breakfast, and things are still crazy out in the city, that word comes to Larkin Silk that there was a major spell casting battle that took place up in the Hewlett district, and it could have been Rhazia wizards, could have been Zarek, could have been other people, but it looks like martial law is a very good thing. That numerous buildings have been broken into, looted. There's crime is rampant across the city right now as the Rhazia wizards have left just an absolute power vacuum, and Baron Fleetwood is imposing what would be tantamount to a brutal martial law that he has to keep everything in check. So people are not wanting to go out, are stopped, questioned, searched, sent back to wherever they're going. There have been numerous confrontations over the course of just the last 15, 16 hours since all this has happened.
Nice.
During that day, Zelen, go ahead and roll, make an insight roll. And it says on one of the occasions that you're sitting in a parlor with Reed.
Real quick, I'm putting 2 branding smites and a protection from evil and good into the ring, just so we know what's in there. They're probably just going to be smite fodder, but it's 2 second level spells and a first level spell that I have access to.
Okay.
In addition to my usual daily spells.
Fantastic, yeah.
And you did that yesterday before we had our long rest.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Right. So now you're really spelled up now, aren't you?
Yes,
Like better
all
than
the
ever before.
smites.
19.
Nice.
You know he wants to say something to you, but it looks as though he is uncertain of how to broach the topic.
Whatever it is, just say it. Just tell me.
He says, Zelen, the Druids have suffered so devastatingly over the course of the last decade and a half in this city, in this region, that we're hardly a circle. I am the circle. I'm working on training some very young people that have some very minor ability. But I've thought about what you've said about the region in Warland itself, of Weldon. I would so strongly encourage you to begin a new circle of your own, that you become the center and the driving force between a druid circle. And I can give you guidance in that too, but you would have to be willful yourself to take up that role of leadership.
I have started to train some of the people in Weldon. They are definitely they have some skill up there, and I did start to train them. How would I lead their circle if I'm not there? Because I can't stay in Weldon. We have a mission.
Druids are groups of very independent people. You could look at it as being almost a looser association, that we do meet at different festival times. It was a glorious time in my life, and I believed it would be rare that there were a number of very powerful druids living in or around this city. It was a great time of fellowship, but it is not always that way. And I think to ensure the survival, that I'll make sure that there are more druids living outside of this city as I develop this circle. So you could still, the missions that you seem to have a greater arcing mission that I'm not sure of the exact parameters of, but you could still pursue that and maintain and develop this circle in this new region. And then we'd have 2 circles in close proximity, yours and mine, to strengthen the preservation of nature and the renewed dedication to its development.
I would be honored to start a new circle.
He seems very, very pleased with that. And then without going into a whole lot of narrative, he does tell you, and I think I'll just send you a document on this.
Oh, jeez.
The history of that staff, that it belonged to one of the members of his circle. But it's fitting you should have that and take this token from the circle that has been the circle here for generations and take it into a new area.
Thank you.
All right, so unless you guys have any other thing to go, a couple of days are going to go by. So in that time, Silk approaches you, Boris, and says, I'm getting information. I'm finding some things out about the Volkov family. I should have something for you in another day or so.
Fantastic. Thank you. Then after that brief exchange, unless he has more.
No, that was it. That was like at one point.
Yeah, just kind of giving me a heads up.
Yeah.
I'm going to find either, I think it was Bob and Asher that were here. I forget who of our runners we said was here.
Leo and Asher.
Leo and Asher, okay. I'm going to pick one of them and send him to the sheep shearers on whichever street I was supposed to get in touch with Cormack to tell him that we've got the eye.
Okay, so...
And arrange a meeting for midnight tomorrow in Garnsdale Park.
Yeah.
We're not going to give it to him, though.
No,
Okay.
we're just going to show up. He's going to say some mean words at us, and then we're going to murder him.
Oh, because we don't want him to rebuild. Because we don't want him to rebuild the tower.
Yeah, and he's probably going to attack us first anyway because we blew up the tower.
Did you
It was
send
an
out?
accident.
We didn't mean to. Just dimples and just rub your foot on the ground like sorry. Did you send off Leo or Asher?
Does it matter?
I'm gonna go to the other one and.
Okay, so Leo nods his head and says, "Should I wait for a response or just deliver a message?"
Just deliver the message.
All right. He looks really upset because where you're telling him to go. Roll an insight.
Okay.
Are you pretty sure? Are you pretty sure it's a kid?
I don't care, kid. Get it done.
Yeah. How low's your DC?
It's like a 12.
4.
So he looks a little chagrined, and you're like a little cloud on the head. Get going.
Well, I'm sitting right there. Can I get one too?
I can see that he looks chagrined. I just can't figure out why. What's the issue?
Right. I've heard that the sheep shearers have a connection to the Rhazia wizards, and it just doesn't seem like a very safe place to go right now.
That's why I'm sending you.
Well, you say that, but
Yeah.
I'm sending him to take a message to the Razia wizards. Their connection is literally why I'm sending him.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if I should just go myself.
I wouldn't think so.
Maybe pay him a little extra.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Hazard pay?
Yeah, 4 silvers instead of 2.
He smiles and nods. Thank you. And he looks over at Asher, and Asher's like shrugs his shoulders like, it's been good knowing you, dude. I hope to see you at lunchtime.
Before I make my request, what is the severity of martial law when it's in effect here? What are you and are not allowed to do?
There's very limited movement. Like some people have to go out during the day even just to get food. There is no refrigeration. So it's for tasks that are absolutely necessary, but people expect to be stopped. There is no open market being like maintained the way it is normally.
Then I won't send Asher to the palace. Never mind.
Okay.
Because that seems like even more of another kind of death mission, because I was going to try and get word to Tide up there, but I don't know if that's worthwhile doing at the moment.
You say that to him, he's like, really?
You could go to the sheep shearer.
Yeah. Why don't you just tell me to burrow into the rubbly ruins of the Rhazia Tower and
Give
to
me
get
some of those
something you
tokens.
left? Right, the
I
pass
could
token.
cast Longstrider on the kid so he could go.
I think he'd rather pass without trace.
I could probably do that too.
Well, your staff can do that at will.
Oh, my staff can do that at will.
Can I do it at Asher?
Yay! So if I'm around, right? I mean, because it's not a big place.
It's martial law.
So, Asher, I have the ability to cast something on you that would make it hard for people to see you. Would you like me to do that?
Absolutely. Thank you, my lady.
So,
That'll be 4 silver.
so I'm going to do that.
All right, I'm just rereading Veil of Shadows,
it's a
etc.,
plus
etc.
10 on
Yeah,
stealth
plus 10
checks.
on dexterity checks. Yeah, cool. That's marvelous. Yeah, so he takes off, and Leo's looking like, what? So he gets that. Okay, I see all that.
Wait a minute. Does Leo also? Did you? I thought you decided not to
No,
give
I
Leo
wasn't
the
gonna send.
mission.
I was gonna send Leo on.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I thought you sent Leo on.
I didn't care which one I sent.
Okay.
The other one.
And you blessed the one I sent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay.
blessed the one that.
No,
Okay,
I-
gotcha.
I wasn't gonna send mine actually to the palace because that just seems kind of.
Attack.
Yeah, you're
Or-
pretty sure he won't be able to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poking
All right,
yonder
The
bear.
one that heads down that way. All right.
Do we want to send a message to the Baron? Because I could cast sending and we could just send it directly to him without us having to be in the streets.
I'd rather we get everything resolved so we can report completeness as
Got
opposed to it's like, hey, yeah, we're mostly
and do
done.
we want to complete our own mission before we communicate with him too? Because we still got our actual mission. Before you volunteered us for this situation, we had our own mission.
Are there like kids who are the palace like runners like that? Like if we saw one of them, or if we were able to get one of them?
Yeah,
here?
they're called pages. They're knights in training.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
okay.
they're actual people that are generally armed walking around.
Okay, so I don't know. Like there might be a better way of us to rather than magically send the word out there.
Yeah,
we might
or
just
maybe
find
we're
one
just
of those
not ready
pages
to
or
do
find
that.
someone and just
Oh.
well, we tell the Baron expect a full report tomorrow or in 2 days, kind of thing. Like while we wait for tensions to die down in the city,
I
we
do think
will
we should
report.
just stand by with that.
You don't want to send him in?
No, just stand by with
It
it.
would be a given. He would, because he knows how to get a hold of where you are. He can send to you. You can only imagine how busy he has got to be with this
can
city
he?
and this kind of turmoil.
I don't know
right now.
how ingrained like Johann Street is, but I'm wondering like would it be difficult for even him to get people over to where we are?
He has an army.
Yeah,
Well, but
and
he
we have
could
a
get
Hulk.
he could get somebody to
Yeah,
the gate.
I'm on his side.
He could get somebody to the gate who could then get the word to us.
Okay.
I mean, he
Yeah.
might not be able to come and knock on our
He
door.
knows where we are, but he's not going to come and knock on our door. yeah.
Exactly.
But it does make sense to give him a handful of days just to let him consolidate his,
Okay.
his authority. With
Yeah,
the wizards
he's
gone.
busy.
Yeah, he's really busy. All right,
And
but
he's
anyway,
probably making moves against the Zrek as we
I
speak.
feel like we're playing hard to get. Like
Boris, a couple of hours later, I believe I said it was Leo that was going, so we'll go with Leo, not Asher. So Leo
Whichever.
returns and he says, "My lord, the message was communicated to the sheep shearers, and if those are sheep shearers, then I'm a basket of thatch. There's no way that they're actual sheep shearers whatsoever. I would say that more than likely it was a couple of their lower tier magicians and maybe some of their elite guards."
Thank you for doing that.
Yes. So they said that at midnight at Garnsdale Park.
And so we'd probably I alert the others if they weren't already, and kid out to get an early night so I can be fresh and ready
Okay.
for midnight.
Okay.
another long rest. Yay.
All the long rests.
So then, unless you have any other like tasks to do, are you all heading up then to Garnsdale Park?
Oh yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I think the only thing that I will probably have done, since I now know how the quiver works, I'll go ahead and stuff it with my arrows and things like that. I don't
Put my javelins in it too.
essentially, if you
Honestly,
guys want,
yeah.
I will. So all of my arrows, all my things are in there. I want to ask Larkin or Silk because I did like one of the. I don't remember who said
Bolt
it,
or
but
silk?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Larkin is Silk. Yeah.
dang it, I've done that so many times now. One of the two of them is like, do you have a spare bow, something that I can have that if I'm ever walking into a situation where I have to give up my bow, I can keep my fox bow in my quiver.
Yes, absolutely. So Larkin Silk retrieves a bow. Be a very standard, non-magical bow,
Sure, yeah, so-
but a good bow.
And I'll stow the fox bow in my quiver, and I'll keep that one in my hand, and that's what I've done in this time.
Okay,
So, and
gotcha.
I'm going to suggest that I cast Pass Without Trace on each of us as we move towards the
Yeah,
meeting
that'd be a
place.
good call.
I like that.
So how many times can you do that?
As many times as I want.
I think we just took another long rest. Or no, this is the second
this is
spell.
from this
Yeah.
is from my staff,
Oh, this is
From the
true.
staff
Oh, that's what we're
itself,
doing. Dang. So
and it lasts an hour.
Yeah, you can also use an action to cast Pass Without Trace. Yeah, just an action.
Yeah.
it took us like
Yeah.
30 minutes to get down here when we were really taking our time. So I think
And
an
you
hour
get
should
a
be more
plus
than enough.
10 bonus to dexterity checks.
Dexterity stealth checks, yeah.
Oh, just stealth, not
Just stealth.
all.
Just
Oh.
stealth.
Right. Now, what time are you leaving here? Yeah. So what Jacob said a moment ago is a very pointed statement. So what time are you leaving? What time do you want to arrive there?
A little early so we can see them arrive, kind of watch the place, I think.
So give me like half hour, 15
Yeah, I think
minutes,
30
hour
30 minutes.
early.
Like
Yeah.
we'll leave here at 11, try and get there by 11:30 if we're taking our time.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's what you said when we were coming back from the
it
tower.
Took half an hour when we were fighting a crowd.
Yeah, so it like we didn't get here in any sort of a fast manner. If we're taking like the same kind of very slow, methodical way back, it'll probably take the same amount of time.
Okay, so let's say if you left it around 11-ish and you're heading up into the streets, you're moving, it is martial law. So go ahead and make those stealth checks right now that you're avoiding any kind of patrol.
It's just a +10, not like advantage, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
Ah! Ooh!
So at
Math.
disadvantage because of my armor, thanks to your spell, I'm rolling a 24 instead of a
wow.
14.
Oh, wow.
I'm doing big math numbers and I'm struggling. 37. There we go.
Holy
Nice.
Moses.
So no one even knows. You guys lose track of Jacob as you're walking.
And
there.
I rolled 18 plus 10, so 28.
Good grief.
Nice.
Yeah, so
36, sorry.
So I'm
I
the
didn't mean
worst
to lie
at
to
a
you.
24.
Yeah, so you guys are, well, that was a great item to have in the thing.
Yeah,
So
nice. Well
it's-
done.
Yeah, so you are making your way up there, and it only takes you about 15 minutes. It's about quarter after.
Even when we're like stealthing.
And you're there right now. But what you see, though, is that coming down the length, so you guys are in the street just opposite the corner of the park where the main gated entrance is. The gate's in one of the corners to the rectangle. And then down that long length, actually at the very end of that other long length, you see the rubble, and there's like light coming from inside it of the actual collapse of the Rhazia Tower. It's just beyond Gaunt's Park in that
Wow.
direction. But moving between there, moving up toward you, is a group of people, and they're talking, giving directions. So it could be a group of guards, but they're not moving that way. So either roll I think it's multiple like perceptions. Do it as an investigation. You could also roll that as your siegecraft, because looking to see how military-like they're moving. But you can all roll that.
16.
And what are we rolling? Perception?
As an investigation, you're putting a number of different things together to make a judgment, and not just like, what do I see or what do I hear?
So my perception is a +8. My investigation is a +3.
So it's the investigation one.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
17.
My investigation is lower too. 8.
All right, so you're getting this idea that you get there just like a whisper, but as they're coming toward you, a couple of you say to the other ones, that is not a group of mercs. That's not even like the guards in the city. That could be Cormack himself.
He's got his own entourage.
He's not alone, and they're moving down the length of that gate as though they were getting there early too to get into positions before the whole thing started.
Cool. Survival check. I've only now realized how big this forest, this park actually is. Are there big enough pine trees for me to actually be able to use my armor's ability?
Roll a percentile.
Oh, percentile.
58.
58. Let's go that way. 58.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I know what I'm going to try and do. What are they moving in particular directions?
Almost straight toward you. They're coming right down the length of the fence that's on that south-north running line, the long line of Gaunt's Park.
I'm sorry.
And they're heading what would be right to the corner. They're going to make like almost an about face into the gate itself and then into the park. And you are just opposite the street at that gate area.
How far does Dimension Door take us? It seems weird to use it to get into battle, but if we can just appear further into the park and not have to run across the street and them seeing us first.
Hold, please.
I mean, also tactically mentioning that to everyone else, like, do you think that's a good idea if we want to avoid being
And
seen
can we
running across the
step
street?
off the path? So if they haven't noticed us, it'd be nice if they didn't.
I'm imagining
notice us
we're
yet.
ducked
They
in
have
an alley
not
right
noticed
now.
you yet. No, you guys are very, very stealthily
500
hidden.
feet.
500 feet. Okay. That's
Well, that's the dimension door?
Yeah, it has a range
Wow.
of up to 500 feet.
Wow, that is huge. Yeah.
It's actually shorter than what it used to be.
Okay,
Yeah.
but is that just you, or is that people up to a certain number of people along with you?
That is herself, as much gear as she can carry, and one creature of her choice that's willing, and as much gear as it can carry.
only one.
Mm.
Okay, and there's... It's just the three of us, right?
You two maneuvering into an ambush, I think, would be a better call than maneuvering Zelen and myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. So then, if anything, if making an ambush, it's going to be just outside Garnsdale Park, right here in the street in front of the gate, because that's where you'll be.
Yeah,
Coming out.
maneuvering into the park, and they'll probably see me.
Right, yeah.
That's
All
what
right.
I'm wondering.
So that's a matter of their perceptions too. So what are you going to do then, Zelen?
I don't understand the question.
Are you going to use your ability to teleport
No.
yourself and Jacob to? Oh,
No, I think that we're going to. I mean, we're all talking together. We're like huddled up and trying to make a plan.
Sure.
So I think they don't know we're here. I can't send us all to get the drop on them. I say we create an ambush down here at this end. Let them come to us.
Okay.
All right.
So are we at least going to try and take them into the park, or are we going to fight them in the streets?
I don't
Semantic.
care. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
at least
it'd be
within bowshot
nice
of the
not
park.
to set the trees all on fire again.
Okay, fine.
But, you know.
These buildings that we're next to, how easy would it be to get on a roof or on a what's the thing that's a
Gable?
lower roof?
Awning?
Balcony?
Awning. There we go. Like a
Okay.
balcony or an awning.
Yeah, they weren't made to be defensive buildings. There are a couple that are further off the street, but again, the buildings right around where you are, most of them have like larger lawns out in front of them
Okay.
around the park itself. So to get to a building, that was the difficulty you guys had before, where there were things that were following you on the rooftops, but then they had to go to ground because there aren't the same buildings as close by each other again.
So I'll ask our more siegecraft inclined person.
Okay.
The people that like as they're walking towards us, like, can you see what they use to fight? What are they equipped with?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable, even because there are like what's tantamount to magical street lamps.
How
For
many
those of you
are
listening,
there?
when I was asked that, I just looked over at our dungeon master to see what I'd know.
That it looks like the majority of them are not armed at all. And then there's only a couple of people that do actually. There's some movement. Actually, they're starting to flare out away from the fence. The one in the lead is pointing off to his left-hand side, and they're starting to like form a line and an arc as they're moving forward. Two of them at the extreme edge of that look to be armed with crossbows and longswords.
I've changed my mind about getting up into a higher position. That's just
So how many
easily
are there?
shot.
It looks like there's like about 6 people.
It looks like one radius of a moonbeam.
They were exactly. I mean, if we're okay with not having conversation, if we're okay with striking, if they're close enough, let me strike now where I can catch more of them.
Is there any information that we need to get from Cormac, or are we really just going?
Are we
really.
assuming?
He will most likely attack us.
Yeah. So I say let me strike first and see how many of them I can catch.
Kill
All right.
first, ask questions later.
All right, go for it.
Okay.
So how
Can we
far
all-
away are they?
They are still about 80 feet away.
Oh,
Oh,
can we
80.
can we all ready actions?
Yeah, sweet. I'm going to fire Circlet of Blasting at Cormac.
All right. So let's go ahead and roll in nits just so we know where we are in this. But this is going to be coming out as a what is tantamount to your free action.
Well, it's our surprise round.
It's your surprise
Yeah.
round before. Yeah, they just, you guys are so hidden, they don't know that you're there.
Okay. I need a second because I've got to figure out if I should cast Moonbeam or if I should cast lightning stuff.
And don't forget to add your dex to your.
You should
your
definitely
17.
cast Ice Storm.
Ice Storm.
It'll
Yeah,
have a
it's your
bigger
biggest damaging,
radius,
yeah.
and I'll go ahead and I'll switch my bows for my good one.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to add?
Your dexterity modifier.
Dexterity. So
Just keep on rolling
To this one
d20s
break.
until they die. And I think just from a not a strategy standpoint, I'm just gonna wait, even though I think I knitted higher than her. Nope, I did not. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna wait for her ice storm thing to happen first, and then fire at them.
That's the inciting event. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you get for your knit?
15.
Nice. All right,
What'd you get?
17,
Nice.
and she's at 20.
Nice.
Ah, okay. I think
And then what's better, thunder, lightning bolt, or moonbeam?
Moonbeam's good because it stays.
Yeah.
And
As long as I don't lose concentration.
Yeah, so I'd go with Moonbeam to have it on anybody who's staying clustered,
Got it.
and then either moving it if there's another cluster or lightning bolting groups.
Sorry to
when you
pause
ask which
in the
one's
middle of
better,
fight.
the answer
No.
is both.
Yeah, but it's I've got it's
At the point that you were saying, Zelen, like I said they're fanning out, they're starting to flare out when the lead person pointed off to his left. They are at a line that is like moving from left to right, the first person to the last, of about 30 feet. And you can tell at that there's actually 7 people, not 6 in the total group. One was behind somebody else you couldn't see. And they're not quite, fanned out as far as they'll go. To put it in like gridded terms, each person's in what's like their own 5-foot square as they're moving off to the right. And then toward the end, one person is behind a person. So just when it comes to area of effect, whatever you're about to do, that's where it would be to catch all of those people.
okay. So, am I allowed to do something? I knitted it at a 20.
Where are you?
And I'm at a 17.
And I've got a 15.
And that's intermixed with all of them too.
Right.
All right, so top of the round, Zelen.
I'm casting Ice Storm, which is a range of 300 feet. It pounds rock hard ice to the ground in a 20-foot radius with a 40-foot high cylinder centered on one point within the range. And I'm going to center it in such a way that I can catch the maximum number of them.
Would you say the radius was?
20-foot radius.
20-foot radius. Okay, so
there's
40-foot
there's only
diameter.
going to be a couple of them that aren't going to.
So I mean, so long as they're all within 40 feet of each other, you should be able to get.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Radius is just like from the edge to the middle.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the other side. Yeah, so you could catch all of them in it. All right, so I get a saving throw. You're making a...
Do you?
And
Each creature in the cylinder must make a dexterity saving throw.
Here comes 7 d20s.
A creature takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 4d6 cold damage on a failed.
You're going to need some dice.
let me just start rolling these things up.
Here's some d8s. And
It's
how many d6?
2d8 and 4d6.
2d8 and 4d6.
So
I need d6s. These are mine.
Thank you. Yeah. You need more. All right, and I'm rolling saves right now.
I got an 8. I got 1 8 and a 5.
That's a lot. That's,
nice, yeah.
That's a lot.
So totals.
And then do your d6. Yeah.
So that's 13.
And then 4d6.
And then d6s.
Let's just go with 46. Just. Okay.
6, 10, 17.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's everything. That's total.
Yeah, 17 and
17 and
13 bludgeoning, 17 cold.
30 points of damage.
30 points of damage. Okay.
Then
That
half,
is-
I think, to anything that made their save.
Yeah, I'm rolling saves right now.
That is fantastic. Here, I'll take the dice back for Victor and I.
These are mine. These
Yep.
are yours.
Thank you kindly. Okay. And I think based on what you said, like, so they look hired. They look like they're someone that Cormack paid to come and protect him for the most part.
They're probably... Why are you asking me?
I'm wondering, like, based on our observations.
From what I can gather, there are other spellcasters, so it's probably his cell of the Razia wizards that survived.
Dang it! So it's not like they're gonna flee if he goes down. So if we just center our attack on him,
that would be a good idea.
it's not like, oh, there goes the guy paying us.
The people, maybe the mercenaries might, the people with bows and arrows, but the wizards aren't. That's
If they shoot at you, drop them. If they don't, ignore them.
I'm just wondering, like, who to fire at first. I think I'm still just gonna go for Cormac, just because I think he's the driving force of all this. If he goes down, maybe they will just decide, not
and maybe
worth it.
he'll take some damage from the ice storm, and then he's below his maximum hit points.
Well, they're all taking damage unless they have evasion. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So you did at least 15 damage to every single person in there, which is not nothing. That is insanity.
That's actually really, really good.
Yeah,
I'm still working out all the numbers right now because there's a whole bunch of them.
that's the equivalent of a fantastic round for me. Like and on one guy. So yeah, good.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Spellcaster does spellcaster thing.
Yeah, spellcaster does brutal spellcaster thing. Wow. Yeah, that is pretty devastating. People have taken damage all throughout the line. They're at different points right now. No one just dies and drops outright with that. But you would guess, looking at it all, that there are a few people that must have failed their saves because they're looking
Getting
mighty.
hit directly by big old chunks of ice.
Yeah, a big thing of ice just breaks on their head. Ouch. That's my head, and I was using that.
He might be alive, but he's definitely underneath that one really big piece of ice.
You're right.
All right, so that was that round. Jacob at
okay.
17.
Do we? Can I pick out Cormac in the crowd? Can I figure out which one he is?
Yeah, you think the guy that's giving the directions that pointed his arm out would be your most likely.
That one. Firing an owl arrow, marking him as my quarry with a bonus action, and doing that. Ooh, how's a 27?
Hits.
Cool. All right, so he's not. Oh, and he has below his hit point maximum.
Yep.
He is.
So, and that's why you go first.
You always ask.
And I'm gonna go ahead and spend a one of my heartstring things to up that to a D from a D8 to a D10.
Okay.
One of them. That 15 points of damage.
He takes it.
And next shot with the advantage from the first one is a 25 to hit.
Also hits.
Cool. Same thing. Another
You don't
charge.
get the Colossus Slayer, though. That's only
That's
once
right.
per turn.
Thank you. Was that the D8 or was
That was the
D6?
D8.
All right, but I will up my damage to a D10 again for that. 4 plus 4, 8 plus 15 points of damage again.
Okay, yeah, great shots. Dum, dum.
Then there you go. In my whole round, I did 30 to one guy. That was a great spell.
And they are aware of you guys.
You're right.
Boris.
On my round, I am moving to engage, and I am, as an action, activating the Circlet of Blasting to shoot some fire at good old Cormac.
Okay, yeah, I need to reread on.
It's just attack rolls.
Okay.
I have 3 attack rolls at +5.
Okay.
Okay, twist it up.
Okay. First one is a 13 versus armor class.
First one misses.
Next up, we've got a 14 versus armor class.
Misses.
And the last one, we've got a 16 versus armor class.
Hits exactly.
Yay!
Okay, so we figured it out. You said D8s or D10?
D6.
D6? Just one?
Which is more damage than I would have done because I'd still be 20 feet away if I had just double moved.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the raise, right?
Yeah, this is me shooting fire up my head. So he takes 5 points of fire damage.
Oh, there's no
Okay.
plus to that?
Nope. It's supposed to be 6d6, but I flubbed a couple numbers.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Still.
Okay, yeah, he's definitely...
It's really cold, then it's really stabby, then it's really hot.
Yeah, and
I don't know what to do. I'm having cold sweats right now.
as a bonus action, I am casting Shield of Faith on myself,
Okay, noted.
upping my armor class.
Okay, wow.
Is that the disadvantage one? No, he's not undead.
No, it's not that one anyway.
Oh,
It's adding 2 to my armor class.
still beneficial.
Yeah, 22 armor class sounds pretty sweet.
Okay, so top of the round, 23,
Oh, dang.
Hugo Cormack.
Whoa.
Nice.
I think for him, the first thing he's got to do is do something to. I need to change my tactics because he's really smart. I'm sure he's smarter than I am, and I want to. I want to re-look at.
That's why I know this isn't going to be what he would do. I'm wondering. Oh, none of us moved, did we? We all just kind of did our
No, I
actions
did.
and stood here.
I
Okay.
moved 30 feet closer,
Oh, okay.
so I'm 50 feet away.
I don't know. Can I use my move to duck? And I'm hiding behind this. Quack. What are you doing?
Thinking. That's what that motion means.
That's
Yeah, I think to hold still, he casts an area that's between you. So I'm going to say, probably the actual area where you are, Boris, where you've moved into.
Yeah.
He's casting. He's spell casting. And let's see. You will need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Nice.
Go ahead and do that.
I assume I'm within 10 feet of myself.
Yeah. You are.
Yeah, so I get my charisma modifier to my save.
Okay, go ahead.
Nice. Natural 17 for a 24.
Okay, yeah. So you make that.
give evasion.
I wish.
You take 4 points of damage, and let's see, you are not restrained. The black tentacles
Oh.
come up out between the cobblestones in there.
As soon as he said
and
no
they're
restraint, like,
latching
oh,
onto you.
that's that tentacle spell.
Right. So that area looks to be very difficult. It's a 20-foot square that's right in that area. So people would need to go around if they're going to be doing that or, doing things through it itself.
If you just wanted a spell that screams, I'm evil, it's black tentacles sprouting from the ground.
Yeah, no, it's not a subtle one.
No.
Okay, next person at 22
Oh,
is
you
one
gotta
of-
wait for that last digit.
is one of his guys. And he has a thing he is holding. Oh, nice. You hear a tone. It's like, dong, but it's actually dissonant. And these crazy things are making the sound. Let's see.
Freaky.
So
So
Boris,
save against like sonic stuff?
make it a Constitution save.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Be an 18.
All right. So you make the save. However, you're aware of a couple things at the same time. You're still taking damage. Let me roll it, and it's halved. Let's see. 7 points of damage, and
Ow.
it feels like it's like a negative or necrotic something.
No.
Go ahead and make a religion
Yeah,
roll.
sure thing. Just let me
As this
point
happens.
Loss.
Does this act make Jacob religious and he suddenly has the ability to...
No, I think it's
Nat 15 for an unnatural 20.
Hey.
okay.
Religion is actually my worst skill.
Oh, wow.
+5
Wow.
is your worst?
Yeah.
You aren't a good religious paladin. You were of a couple things right
Well,
off.
I'm just not that smart.
One, this secondary mage that is holding this item, you're close enough in with the light from one of these street lamps, these magical street lamps, you can see it, and it looks like it is like bone and metal, and just you're in a flash of perception, you think that looks like it is a Zrek kind of artifact.
So, and the sound is like making me rot?
And that's what the religion check was about. You feel like in some way your own sword has been contaminated. The Argolian steel
Oh.
has been contaminated, and it is actually your sword itself is doing damage to you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, crap.
Dang.
That's not good.
Yeah. So you
And by those dice, that looked like pretty hefty potential damage.
Yes, we won't. You'll find out. Like if you just kind of
crap.
keep going for the next round. All of you heard the tone. As far as I'm like, remind me because I don't recall it. Do any of you have any Arngolian, any metal things
No.
on your
Or-
person?
Unless
So
Violet's
enchanted
dagger
stuff.
is suddenly on Grolian, I wasn't given any of that.
It was not.
Yeah, so.
So yeah, that's what I thought. It's just the sword.
I did forget my Mongolian spoon.
I eat it a +5, stabbing yourself in the face. So Borst, there's that. Your own sword is making you take damage at this point.
Gross.
And you probably be able to guess
This sucks.
how long does it take damage? How long you take damage from the sword?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe a proximal thing.
Take an
All right.
action, just like wrap it in like
That
cloth.
was at 22. That was his action, and the next would be that's you, Zelen, at 20.
just holding you on, just making you
I
wait.
know, right? So, is there any way if I can tell what's going on? Do you want me to throw my staff, not my good staff? Oh, wait a minute! I only have the one. Never mind. I was trying to think of something else to give you that I had that you could fight.
I've
with.
got my hammer.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, I forgot you had that hammer. Okay, good. I want to try to. I'm going to cast Wall of Thorns encircling the bad guys because none of them have moved. Right.
Not yet, no. So, yeah, what are the parameters for the wall of thorns?
So,
How big an area?
I can cast the Wall of Thorns. It has a 20-foot diameter and is up to 20 feet high and 3 feet thick. It blocks the line of sight. When the wall appears, each creature within its area must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 7d8 piercing damage or half as much successful. A creature can move through the wall, albeit slowly and painfully. For every 1 foot creature moves through the wall, it must spend 4 feet of movement, and it takes 78 slashing damage on a failed save.
Could I make a slight suggestion?
Heck yeah.
Putting them in that bubble means I can't get to them.
And I can't fire at them either.
So I'd advise doing the 60-foot long, 10-foot high, 5-foot thick wall instead of the dome, because then you can put a wall behind them so they can only go forward.
Oh, do they still get poked by it?
If they try and retreat through it.
Can I land it close enough that they get poked?
Hypothetically, yeah.
Summon the wall on them.
Yeah,
Right.
when the wall appears, each creature within its area must make a dex save. So yes, you could
So I'm
actually
gonna-
put the wall on them.
All right, so
and then
that's what I'm
it's
going to
just,
do.
you know,
So
they
what are the dimensions of the wall so I know how long to know
60
how many?
feet long, 10 feet high, and 5 feet thick.
Okay, it's 60 feet long. They're at and there's nothing that says you can't. It has to be like at right angles to you or
I
something.
thought maybe we
No,
could come
yeah.
up to the
Yeah.
wall and like shoot down at them, like
they
put them
they
in
are
a,
all still well within that length range.
Yeah.
So what
Nice.
kind of a save do I get, or what kind of save do they get?
you on a dexterity saving throw.
Okay,
On a
roll-
failed, a creature takes 7d8
nice,
And
or
you're-
half as much on a
or
success,
half?
right?
Is it half
or
for?
half.
Okay.
You need
All
two
right,
more
so
D8.
Let me start rolling these dex saving throws.
And your spell save DC was something really high, like a 18, 17, something like that.
16, I thought. Well,
Don't let them get in your head.
She walked away to the.
I've got to find it.
I know, you got to find a lot of dice.
Here, I have some 8-siders right here for you.
No, I don't want yours.
She said he doesn't want his, they'll roll, though.
Wow.
You only needed 2 more. How many did you grab?
I'm sorry, your hedge does no damage.
Oh, how many did I need?
7.
So again, what's the DC as I'm rolling saving throws?
It's just your across the board spell save DC.
My spell save DC is 16.
Okay.
It's actually relatively high.
It is
I,
pretty
know,
high.
I was hoping it would be like a 28.
Wrong edition. That's some pretty looking damage.
And just keep it to yourself for just a minute because I'm rolling these things.
It's very
Once you
colorful.
have it.
Dungeons and Dragons, the most fun you'll ever have with first grade math.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
One of my secondary mages that failed the last thing also failed this one. This is a bad day for this guy. He thought he'd be
Good.
like the kick buddiest guy.
Like, Jacob is just like reconsidering every choice he's made about how he does damage to things.
Right?
After seeing in 2 rounds dealing to damage to I don't know how many people.
And by
Over
the way,
30.
I just did that with my new staff, so
Oh,
it
that was the
doesn't even
staff?
cost me
Yeah,
any
you-
spell
oh my
slots.
God.
You've
I didn't
still
even-
only just cast one spell of your lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jacob starts holding the quiver like a minigun and seeing if that actually. Am I using it wrong?
All right, give me the bad news, Zelen.
39 points of damage.
Oh, wow.
We could just round it up to 40 if it makes the math easier.
I mean, for cutting it in half, it does.
All right, so 19.
So what happens when you cut an odd number in half in this game?
Round down.
And you just do it across the board, so it's not like for him you round up, but for us you round down. No, it's across the board
Yeah,
anytime.
so that 39 is a 19 if you got half.
Right. Oh, gosh. I know. My my advanced Dungeon Dragons brain kicks in sometimes when it comes to negative numbers.
Yeah.
I can't help but think versus just death saves.
Yeah.
But this is just brutal. I didn't expect this to be that hard, hitting that hard.
High level spellcasters are high level
Oh my
spellcasters.
gosh, yeah, they are. And they both made their save and still take 19 flip-flacking points of damage. All right. I can't believe this. At the end of all of that, there is one person standing.
Wow. Who?
Hugo Cormack.
Nice.
Yes.
Can I have my D8 back, please? I need that.
Yeah.
I am stunned at how fast these guys went down. That is just bizarre.
So then I guess that it's Jacob as one of the few people left.
Right. So,
Is it me next to the net, or I don't remember where
yes.
Cormac went?
Yeah, you're Zelnzer.
Cormac went first this round.
Oh, that's right.
He cast the tentacles.
Oh,
He wished he would have cast something else. I kept all the spells these other guys had, but even the ones that there was one that took 67 points of damage.
Nice. Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
get pretty close to dropping me.
Yeah, and the other guys that actually made both of their saves still took like 20, 30, yeah, over 30 points. Yeah, but I'm just blown away by this. All right. It was a terrible day in Wizard Land.
oh yeah.
Evil Wizard Land,
Jacob.
though.
I'll walk into the street and try and get on a different bead, because if I'm standing in a line with Zelen, I'm imagining I can't really see Cormac at this point.
So over to the right, over to the left.
Over.
It would be
over
over to the right because the fence would be in the way on the left.
Yeah. So and I'm standing there looking at Cormac, and I draw my bow and I say, "Did you want to talk?" And I just pause for just a second to see if he says anything before I loose my arrow.
He says, "Yes, I want to talk."
And then I'll hold for a moment, and I'll let Boris. I say, "Dispel your tentacles." That's what I'll say. Tell him to do that.
I think that's just like
A bonus action on his
bonus
turn.
action. Yeah. So okay, give me a moment because his turn's already happened.
Yeah, right.
Give me like 3.5 seconds.
But then it's Boris.
Yeah. Am I taking damage at the start of my turn? Or
Yes. So
Okay.
again,
con save?
con save again.
Ooh, that's a 14.
You take. It seems light, but it's another 6 points of damage.
Oh.
You can ready actions right there still, in 5e. Like it's not like
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. If he doesn't, I'll shoot him. Or
Yeah,
I'll delay so I can shoot both my arrows and stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna drop sword because I don't know if it'd still go if it was just sheathed, and pull hammer and advance closer.
Okay, yeah. So you're just kind of pushing through this area. I think at your normal base, you're not anybody slowed by the tentacles.
Okay.
Yeah, but as you're closing toward him, and then the top of the round is going to be Hugo Cormac himself.
Yeah, I was debating whether or not I'd dash to him, and I don't think I will. I think I'm going to, ready an action so that if he starts spell casting in any other way than dismissing the tentacles, I'm going to dash to be adjacent to him.
Yeah.
All right.
Does he do anything other than dispel his tentacles? Because otherwise he's got 2 arrows and a Boris heading towards him.
Let me just roll a.
And
what is-
another wall of thorns, because screw you guys.
Were you about to roll an intelligence check? What would be the smartest
I've
thing
almost
to do?
murdered him once before. You'd think he'd know.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably why he did things to disable sword.
This is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm wondering is him working with Zrex.
Oh,
How deep does that go?
true.
I'm wondering if your sword is now permanently ruined.
That is a question.
I have Dispel Magic. Maybe I could dispel it if it is.
Bless it. Clean it.
Yeah, you use like consecrate or a ceremony spell or something.
You would think he's not dispelling this. Everyone, go ahead and make an arcane check, whatever your knowledge is of what's happening with the spell wise.
Can I do religion? Because that's the avenue through which I cast my spells.
I got a 19.
But his isn't a religious based thing. It'd be an arcana check.
Yeah, I know, but it's just.
I got a 5.
I got a 3.
I got a 19, yeah.
All right.
Jacob,
All right,
you
country
recognize-
boy, tell us about spells.
This is the second time this has happened.
He is not dropping his tentacles. He is spell casting, and with your arcana check, you would think he's actually summoning.
Okay, so two
So then-
arrows.
I've dashed and in melee with him.
Yeah.
All right,
So I imagine
so-
your cue is probably arrows going right past your head. It's like,
Yeah, honestly.
I guess we're
All
going.
right, so everybody twist it up.
Yeah.
Well, that was my action to move adjacent to him. I'll attack
Okay.
him when I get there.
Gotcha. Okay, so Jacob.
I am going to.
Oh crap! Let me real quick make a battery of con saves to see if I Wait, the
Cormack-
DC to that's 10, and I've got a save bonus of +9. So yeah, I've made my saves.
Yeah, Cormac was the one I was aiming at before. He's still my quarry. This is a new round. I'm upping my damage dice, and I'm still rolling with advantage because he was the guy I was attacking last time with my arrows. Oh, 30. 30 to hit.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit.
Yeah.
That's going to leave a mark.
I'm going to spend 2 charges and up one from a D8 to a D12.
Nice.
Do it.
Aw. I rolled a 4. So 8 plus 3 is 11 plus 7 is 18 points of damage.
All right, he takes it.
And then going at him
I
again.
got a lot of hit points.
Yep. So no D.
I think he leveled up a couple of times since I almost murdered him.
Right. All right. So go back to my D8.
One of those his little skills with ours things.
Ooh. 16.
To hit?
Yeah.
Hit.
Ooh. Good.
Wow, nice.
All right. Good.
Exactly.
Oh, good.
Exactly hit.
Yeah, because that was the ray too.
Yeah.
So 6 plus 7, 13 more points of damage.
All right, he takes him.
And does that cause him to drop his conjuring thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
What was
because he's got a
I make a
make.
save for it to see if he
DC 10 or half damage, whichever's greater. So
and what was
10.
half damage on the first one?
12.
Both of them were less than 20.
Yeah, he keeps his wits about him.
All
Bummer.
right. Well, here comes something else to make
And
that.
I smack it with a hammer.
All right, he is conjured. It's now here, an elemental.
Neat. What kind?
Water.
Neat. I wonder if it goes away when I break his head open. Well, I'm doing blunt force trauma now. I can't cut his head off.
I wonder if I cut him open, will it spill out Lucky Charms?
Yeah, I do wonder when you conjure an elemental, if you die and the elemental is a conjure thing, does it just go away?
If you're dead, your concentration has ended.
So it might go away. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so big water elemental, massive nasty creature. And that was a 23, so 20 was being held. So Boris, you have closed up
Yeah, that was on his round. So I think we've still got Zell and
Zelen
Jacob
at
and
20.
myself.
Yeah.
So can you hit things like water elementals with lightning?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would argue that it does more damage.
You would think,
Well,
right?
it depends on if it's pure water, if there's impurities contained within. One would
Says our
impurities-
environmental
the
scientist.
impurities is
One
what
would assume
conduct-
that given it's a water elemental, it's a pure manifestation of water given sentience, so arguably it'd be less effective. However, is game, so I don't think it actually matters.
Okay, so I'm going to call lightning, and I'm going to position it in such a way that I hit Cormac and possibly the water elemental, but I do not hit Victor. I mean,
Boris.
Boris.
Victor's
Yeah, Victor does not get hit.
Yeah,
He's a significant
it's-
number of miles and realms away.
yeah, a
at
few
all.
layers of amber at least.
All right, so he could cast this and summon it. Let me just roll to see how close it is to him.
I picture Zealous calling lightning like she's calling a dog.
Oh,
She'd
no,
like
I can
purchase
only
her-
picture one. I can only hit 1 point. I can only hit one.
But it's a radius effect, right?
Right, so
Oh, yeah.
where the curve
Oh,
is.
yeah, that's right.
She just does that really like
how
loud
big
whistle.
is the cylinder
A
footprint
storm
as it
cloud
hits?
in the shape of a cylinder that is 10 feet tall with a 60-foot radius. Centered on a point you can
that's
see
huge.
100
And then-
feet
and
directly.
then
That's not the lightning
call
strike,
down
that's
a point of
where the
lightning.
lightning can appear.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Right. Oh, it's 5 foot, isn't it?
When you cast
Yeah.
the spell, choose a point you can see within range. A bolt of lightning flashes down from the cloud to that point. Each creature within 5 feet.
Right. Okay. So no, they're just far enough apart. You can hit one or the other.
I'm going to go after Cormac.
Okay.
Turns out they're 5.5 feet away from each other.
And he has to make a dexterity throw against a 3D.
He is not my friend. He does not get the bonus.
You're right.
He, right.
So
Wait,
yeah, we already said the DC was 16.
he looks at me and says, "Hey, buddy, I've done well on my saving throws." today,
Nice.
So that's 17 points of damage.
though." Okay, he's saved.
No, it's 20 points of damage.
It is?
8, 9, 3. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So how much damage did you do just now?
20.
He dies.
Nice.
Gosh! You killed him! I hope he really didn't want to talk.
He had his chance.
Yeah, he said he wanted to, and then he
Yeah.
summoned a thing to fight us, so I don't think he does.
And yeah, he got knocked down really hard, really
Nice.
fast. He started with 85 hit points, made a lot of saves.
I did 6 damage in that whole fight. This is why I need more ranged stuff.
and
It was the range thing that
so-
did the damage.
within a moment, the water elemental looks at you very liquidy, and then it goes away
And
It
splashes
just-
off.
Yeah, he stops,
Bubble.
He stops
bubble.
concentrating and just water disappears. And it is again just all of you and a lot of bodies out here on the street.
Search the bodies and then like book it back to Johann Street.
All right.
Yeah, retrieve sword if I can tell that it's not like doing shenanigans.
Wash it in this
aura.
pure
Okay.
water.
Actually, when
Well,
you
I
get
think the
there,
water disappeared when the elemental did.
let me just roll a thing
Not
for
like
the.
he gave a puddle sentience or
that was
something. He
another-
conjured a thing from another plane.
The sentient puddle.
About as
Worst,
threatening as a berry bush.
oh man, worst superhero ever. Like Aquaman's over there with his sidekick, the sentient puddle.
Well, that was a Billy Godparents, wasn't? Form of a bucket of water.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, riffing on the
Feel my power.
riffing on the
Twins.
Super
Wonder
Friends.
Twins, yeah.
or-
Boris,
Whomever.
when you go back to where your sword is laying on the cobblestones, it is in pieces.
Oh no.
And thus, we start a new year with a demonstration of power and loss. Tell us what you think so far on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Empire's Edge. If you'd like to support the podcast, check out our Subscribe Star at subscribestar.com/the-empires-edge.